So this section will get into choosing a connection type, which I had actually hoped that I could rush through, but I will try my best to provide a bit more information given that I can understand this is an area that folks need a little bit more info on. So there are several things you need to consider when you're selecting a connection option, and each really reflects a level of readiness of the organization and the resources that are available. I'm going to note here that we do have on our participation agreement, there's a line item where you're asked to select a method. And I want to stress now that you're going to pick the choice that you think is right for your organization, but you're not stuck to it, because once you get into onboarding, you'll be working directly with a service manager that will confirm that connection to make sure that you make the right one for you. So it can change. So we'll start with Webmail. This provides for communication on the HIway through a web browser, like you're familiar with, as Internet Explorer or Firefox. You log into a website and you send and receive messages manually. It looks pretty much like Gmail, Yahoo, other online email sites, and has pretty much the same capabilities. Attachment files can be sent through Webmail, and all of the communications are completely secure. So the Webmail solution really has the lowest investment and impact on your organization. You can sign up for a Webmail account as long as you have an internet connection and access to a computer that runs either Microsoft Internet Explorer, I believe it's version 8 or higher, Firefox 10 or higher, or Safari 5. So when you're on Webmail, you communicate on the HIway using S-MIME, and that's secure email. The payload is sent as an attachment, and all of the uploaded attachments are scanned by an antivirus package. All Webmail traffic is routed through the HIway, which will transform Webmail attachments into S-MIME or XDR as required by the receiver. So it's minimally invasive on somebody's practice, and it's for really small volume transactions over the HIway. But at the end of the day, it's really a good way to just get started with, moving off of a fax machine, and maybe the use case is sending information to one specific provider, which again, is a great way to get started. It's a great way to get folks at your organization used to moving away from the fax machine. So the LAN is a pre-configured gateway it's locked onto your network and allows for high-volume connection to the mass HIway. So it's a physical piece of hardware that's installed at your site. It's used to create and encrypt messages, and then uses the internet to securely send the information over to other mass HIway participants. I think this is really best for maybe health organizations or larger groups that are awaiting the direct connection capabilities from their vendor, or may not be using an EHR application. So I think with that, I'm going to move on to the direct solution, which this is the most robust connection and allows you to send and receive messages, data, and information, just EHR to EHR, using a secure protocol based on the direct standards. This connection provides the largest opportunity for an organization to fully integrate the HIway connection, but it does require some pretty hefty infrastructure and the IT staff to really manage it. And this actually really depends on your vendor capabilities as well. So the Mass HIway is working actively with all of the top EHR vendors in the state to establish their connectivity first of the direct solution. And then the plan will be that they will roll it out to sort of a select few sites first and prepare to for wider rollout to their clients. So really you need to check with your vendor first on the status of their direct connection with us, and if they aren't planning on a direct connection with us, ask them to and send them our way, and we will work with them. So a bit about the rates. Because we're funded 90% from CMS with state matches, we're able to keep our rates super competitive and tier them based on organization size and type. The rates include a one-time setup fee and an annual service fee that depends on the connection type that you and your service manager ultimately choose. So these private sector contributions, like these fees that we're getting, that's going to help sustain the program in the future as the funding fades out. So this rate card is available on the website, and these rates for direct messaging are still valid. So a couple of quick sample calculations for HIway for a hospital and a small practice. And I'm going to say here, too, that depending on the circumstances, say if you come in through a HIP when your HIP connects to the HIway, you pay the charges to your HIP, and you're not going to pay additional charges to us. And again, like I mentioned before, say if your use case is specifically to get connected to the DPH, and say as an interim solution we need to install a LAN box at your site, we'll do so and charge you only for the device and not for those ongoing annual fees. But again, that's really going to be specific just to that DPH connection only.